Hello, good morning. Happy Saturday. So I guess I'll say welcome to Bohemian Rhapsody Yoga. I know it was kind of a strange theme or whatever concept, but my reasoning behind it was I was listening to the song this week for different reasons, just listening to it randomly. And I just thought, there's some things that echo true in those lyrics, those prophetic lyrics, and Freddie Mercury's soaring vocals. That song spoke to me, and I thought, I'm going to pull this into our yoga class. I think it's positive and uplifting and a little ironic, but that's where I was going. So we're going to flow. We're going to have an all levels class. Take it at your own pace. I'm going to try and give options. It's 45 minutes. We will start. Let's lie down on our backs. And if you are playing some music, maybe you've got your Queen catalog going, cue it up. And somebody's sending me a note. I hope you guys can hear me, but you guys are lying down on your backs. I didn't ask you at the beginning. All right, good, you can hear me. Thank you, thank you. All right, so you're lying down on your backs. You're gonna bring your arms over your head. Take a nice big stretch. I'm gonna just stay upright a little bit longer so I can see if there's anyone else knocking at the virtual door, but you guys are lying on your back. Big, big stretch, a Saturday morning stretch. Push your hands over to one side so you have your interlaced fingers. You're pressing and pushing your body over to one side. Again, you're lying down, your legs are stretched out. You're not sitting upright like I am. And come back to center. Maybe you want to switch the lacing of your fingers and you can push over to the opposite side. Nice big deep breath. Big breath in, big breath out. Come back to center. You can unlace your fingers, just stretch the arms straight back. And again, you're still stretching through your legs. And then just begin to gently turn your head from side to side. I want you to just do this a few times, just loosening up your neck. Maybe as you're doing that with your arms over your head, maybe you also want to open up your mouth nice and wide and sort of hinge your lower jaw, get some any tightness that maybe you're holding in your jaw. And you're just going to move your head from side to side. So any combination of all of these things, you're still stretched out on your mat. And we'll do one more breath. And then bring your arms back down alongside your body. When you feel ready, I am going to also lie down, and let's all bring our knees into our chest. And you're going to start to rock on your spine. Let's pull our legs a little wider apart, just as much as you feel comfortable doing at this point, because I know we're just starting. And you're just going to massage your low back, feel your spine maybe sort of moving on the mat. Again, if it doesn't feel good, then just lie there more still. That's okay. Depending on the surface that you have your mat on, or whatever surface you're lying on, maybe it's a little too hard to be moving your spine around. So, you have to decide. You can always get some padding and place it underneath your low back if you need that support. So we're going to take one more breath. And then we're going to keep the right leg in, stretch your left leg out, pull your right leg in, and let's just sort of rock this leg from side to side. So you're just sort of manipulating your hip joint a little bit here, keeping the knee bent, just starting to warm it up. If you feel like it's available to you, you can start to draw circles. If it seems like it's available to you, it might feel a little too early to do that, but you decide. So just drawing some circles. You've chosen a direction to do your circles. So now switch your direction. Remembering to take some breaths and try not to hold your breath as you're doing this. And finishing up your last circle if that's what you're doing. And then we're going to stretch the leg up. Extend it up in the air. Move your ankle around. Squeeze and release your toes. Notice what's going on in the back of the leg. Try and lengthen and loosen things up right now. Just oiling your joints and muscles like you're a tin man or tin woman. You got your can of oil, just oiling it. It feels a lot better after you do this movement. We'll do this for one more breath. And now we're going to bend the knee in, left hand on the knee, bring your leg across the body. Again, any amount that seems available to you. You can stretch your right arm out if that feels good. Let's take a couple big breaths. We're going to breathe in through the nose. Breathe out through the nose. And if the nose is tricky, breathe out through the mouth. It doesn't matter. Just try to get your breath going here. Notice what it feels like to breathe deeply, inhaling and exhaling. No shallow breaths. We'll do one more. And then we'll come all the way back. Let's stretch the leg out. Bring your arms over your head again. Stretch, 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 lengthen. Maybe notice how one side of the body feels compared to the other because you've worked a little bit on the right side. And bringing your arms back, we're going to bend the left knee in, pull it in. And then we'll start off just nice and easy again. We'll just sort of rock the leg gently from side to side. You're just starting to put some movement in the hip, seeing how this feels. And then if it seems available, left hand is on the knee, you can start to roll in circles. Go nice and easy. Try not to rush, still take your breath. And we'll switch the direction. And once you've finished up your last circle, if you're doing that, we're going to again stretch the leg up in the air. So your left leg is up in the air. Start to release, roll the ankle, squeeze and release the toes. Nice big deep breaths. We'll do one more breath. Remember, you're oiling your joints with your oil can, your WD-40. Bend your knee, take your right hand on your knee, bring the leg across the body, any amount that's available to you. And here's where I would like you to focus on your deep breaths. Go for it. See what it feels like to breathe deeply. It relaxes your body. It calms you down. It allows you to feel like your intake of oxygen is quite sufficient. All right, we'll come all the way back, releasing the leg, arms over the head. One more time. Let's sort of paddle out our feet or pedal out our feet, paddling the feet, pedaling the feet. I don't know, sort of the same thing, different word. Nice big breath, maybe squeeze and release your hands, your fingers. Uh-oh, here comes Rosie. She's bringing me a sock. Hi, Rosie. Okay, you guys are just still squeezing and releasing. And then one more time, we're gonna bring our knees into our chest. Hug your knees in. Now she's licking my feet. I'm getting a little pedicure. Oh, so nice. Oh my God. And everybody, let's roll ourselves up to a seated position. We're gonna just take a couple seconds here to have some abdominal strengthening. Let's have our feet. Okay, I'm not gonna drink my water. This is gonna be one of those days, I can tell. All right, we're gonna lean back. Arms straight out, core engaged, back is strong, relax your shoulders. If you feel like it, let's bring a leg up. We're gonna switch, left leg, right leg, left leg, right leg. All right, so you got your movement going here. You have some options with bringing one leg up at a time. If you feel like you want a little bit more work, we're gonna go both legs and touch. Both legs and touch. Where did this all come from, eh? We were doing this nice stretch and now we've got this banana stuff happening. All right, let's stay here. You're either alternating legs or you're doing this both legs business. And we are going to do this. Your core is strong. You're keeping yourself feeling loose in the neck, of course, for 5, rest anytime you need to, 4, 3, remember you can be alternating legs, 2, and 1. Whew, thank goodness that's over. All right, let's stretch the legs out. Let's come forward, actually. Let's just come forward into a nice, easy forward fold. And by easy, I mean round your back, bend your knees any amount you need. Just take some breaths into your back. And then we'll lift ourselves up. I'd like you to bend your knees. So, pardon me, you have your feet flat on the ground. We're going to bend both knees towards the right. So both the knees are stacked towards the right. Twist towards the right. So you might have your hands on your legs, wherever it feels comfortable, but you're trying to rotate an open face twist, an open belly twist here. So stretching into your back, keep your neck soft. You feel it across the belly, of course, into the ribs. So you're twisting in the same direction as your knees. And then we're going to come back and we'll do the same thing on the other side. So knees together, drop the knees to the left. I'm just going to reverse my direction so I can keep looking at you. So open belly twist now to the left. Keep your neck soft. Take a couple more big breaths. Trying to twist out any contracted muscles we are still feeling. And then we'll come all the way back. So let's bring ourselves forward onto our hands and our knees. Setting up in a tabletop position. Hands are under the shoulders, and let's start to round the back, hammock the belly. We are taking cat and cows. Feel that stretch all the way up your spine. I'm gonna have to remember not to drink that water. I'm gonna move that over here because I was just looking at it thinking I wanted to drink it because, oh yes, of course, okay. Cat and cows, nice big breaths. In addition to your cat and cows, if you'd like, push your hips from side to side. Or maybe do like a full mashup, crazy movement, twisting, releasing, whatever feels good for you. We are all still breathing. Let's take 2 more breaths, whatever you are doing. Whatever movements, keep that up if it's feeling good. And then we're going to come back to center. I'd like you to curl your toes under, and we're going to see how much weight we can put onto our heels. So sitting back, if you can't tolerate it, it's just too much, then obviously you're going to just sit up. That's okay. There's still a stretch happening. But if you need more, you can lean back. Bringing your hands to the ground, of course, is going to take some of the pressure off as well. So let's take a few breaths. You're maybe alternating with lifting up and coming back down on your heels, taking breaths. You know, some of you are like, this is so easy. I want to bring my hands behind my back. Go for it. Everybody, 1 more breath. And then definitely, at the very least, bring your hands to the ground and then let's tap out our feet. Just tap them out. Maybe you want to squeeze and release the toes again and roll out the ankles. Okay, now we're going to lift up and be on our knees. Again, we're not going to sit back on the heels. Tops of the feet are on the mat, or you can keep your toes curled under. It's totally okay. I'm just going to face you, and we're just going to do a little bit of wrist stretches. So stretch your arms out, have your palms face up, and fingers pointing up. So you're bending your wrists. Point your hands down. So you should be trying to feel some sensation in your forearms and your wrists. Okay, let's make a soft fist. Bring your thumbs inside to your palms, close your fingers, and just roll your wrists around. Roll them around, release. Okay, shake out your arms, and we're gonna set up in downward facing dog. So hands are shoulder distance apart, fingers are spread wide. Your hands are approximately under your face. Curl your toes under, lifting up your legs, stretching them out any amount. So that's downward facing dog. If that is not a good pose for you, you prefer not to take that, or it's just not feeling good, or you have an injury, please just come back down into tabletop, or you can even move into child's pose. Always an option for everybody at any point. But from downward facing dog, we're gonna pedal out the legs. Take some breaths. I want you to really sort of shake out your neck. Your neck no longer is feeling the weight of holding up your head. I want you to think about coming up on your tiptoes, pushing your tailbone up towards the ceiling, getting a big, big stretch in the back of the body, and then sinking down through your heels any amount. And we'll do that one more time. Inhale, lifting up nice and high through the heels, and sink down any amount. Let's stay here for one more breath. And then for those that would like to, we're gonna float forward to a high plank, just starting to warm up the body in this way. So hands underneath the shoulders, pressing back, your legs are engaged, you're feeling the energy in the thighs, energy through the core. Keep your neck nice and long, and let's count this down for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Press back into downward facing dog, and then please walk your hands back to your feet. You're gonna be at the back of the mat, walking your hands back to your feet. Let's take a nice, easy forward fold. Again, easy in the sense that you're gonna bend your knees any amount. You're gonna let your arms dangle. Keep your core engaged. This is always good for helping to support the back. Shake out the head. Maybe your wrists again. Maybe you even want to interlace your fingers and bring the arms over the head. Lots of options here. You do what feels good. And then if you do have your hands interlaced, just let the arms dangle. And we're gonna roll ourselves up. You're keeping your core nice and strong, rolling yourself all the way up. And we'll do some, just kind of some setting up movements here. We're gonna start to move around a little bit. So standing at the back of your mat, nice and tall, full posture. You're gonna lift yourself up nice and tall, your full height. Take your arms out, inhale. Bringing your hands together, bowing forward as you exhale. Bring your hands to your shins, lengthening into a flat back. We're gonna fold in again, folding in again, and then we're gonna come all the way back up, reverse swan dive, palms facing up and touching and down through the heart. Okay, so we're gonna do that whole thing one more time. Inhale, arms up, folding forward as you exhale, lengthening into a flat back. Fold yourself in, take your arms out to the sides, come all the way back up, hands down through the heart. Okay, so now we're gonna add on some moving onto the mat. So standing nice and tall, inhaling the arms up, hands together, bowing forward, lengthening into a flat back. This time bring your hands to the ground and you're gonna walk yourself up into downward facing dog. You can always stay in tabletop. So downward facing dog. Looking back at your feet, let's come up high on the tiptoes. Push your tailbone up towards the ceiling. Sink down through your heels any amount. Let's take our right leg, reach it up in the air, and now bend the knee open. Maybe sink down a little more deeply through your left heel. And then we'll step the right leg down to the ground. So right back into downward dog. Take your left leg, reach it up in the air, bend the knee open. Sink down a little bit more through your right heel. And bring your left leg down to the ground. We're gonna look forward and float forward to a high plank. You can bring your knees down and we're gonna lower down, keeping our elbows in close to the body. You can always keep your knees lifted. I'll demonstrate knees down, lowering down to the ground. Tops of the feet to the mat, interlace your hands. Take a nice big stretch of the arms and peel up through the chest, keeping your neck long. Let's also add in the legs. Nice big breath in and exhale, lower back down. Bring your hands beside your low ribs, curl your toes under and bring yourself back into child's pose. So nice big stretch, maybe wiggle a little bit from side to side, stretching into your back, feeling this in your legs. For some of us, this might be your first child's pose that you've done in this class. All right, we're gonna lift ourselves back up into downward facing dog. Walk your hands back to your feet. Bring your hands to your shins, lengthening into a flat back, folding forward, arms coming out to the sides, reversing it, coming all the way back up, and bring your hands down through your heart. Okay, let's do that again. Inhaling the arms up. Exhale, folding forward. Lengthening into a flat back. Bring your hands to the ground. Walk yourself up into downward facing dog. Remember, you can stay in tabletop. Setting yourself up, looking back at your feet. Feet are hip distance apart approximately. Inhale, lifting up, nice and high on your tiptoes. Drawing your tailbone up to the ceiling, sinking down through your heels any amount. Take your right leg, reach it up in the air, bend the knee open. I'm going to add on here. Step your foot up between your hands. Come down on your left knee, and we're going to stretch back through the right leg. Maybe point your and flex your foot. Your hands don't have to be up by your where your foot was unless that feels comfortable to you. You can always draw them a little closer to you. Point and flex the foot. So a nice stretch in the back of the leg. Okay, bring your right leg back. Come back up into downward facing dog. Take your left leg up in the air, bend the knee open. Step your foot up between your hands, coming down on your right knee. Stretch back. Point and flex the foot. All right. Slide your leg back. Come back up into downward facing dog if you'd like, and then float forward to a high plank. Knees can be down or keep them raised, but remember, as you lower down, you're going to snuggle your arms in close to the body. It's a tricep push-up. This time, tops of the feet to the mat, keep your hands beside your low ribs. Inhale into cobra, lower back down, curl your toes under, press back into child's pose, wide knees child's pose. Nice big breath. Maybe giving your wrists a little roll again to stretch them out. Who knows? It's all good. Okay, so I'm going to keep adding on. So let's come back up into downward facing dog. Walk your hands back to your feet. Bring your hands to your shins, lengthening into a flat back, folding forward, arms reaching out to the sides, come all the way up, and bring your hands down through your heart. Okay, take a couple breaths, make sure you're good. I wish I could drink some of my water, but I'm not going to because it has dog saliva. All right, standing nice and tall. Arms out, inhale. Exhale, folding forward. Lengthening into a flat back. Bring your hands down to the ground, walk yourself up into downward facing dog. Looking back at your feet. Inhale, lifting up nice and high through your tiptoes, pushing your tailbone up towards the ceiling, sinking down through your heels any amount. Take your right leg, reach it up in the air, bend the knee open. Step your foot up between your hands. Come down on your knee. Stretch back through your leg. Nice hamstring stretch. This time, roll forward, float the arms up. Bring your hands to your heart and twist to the right. So you can twist through your torso, or you can try to tuck your elbow on the outside of the leg. So nice, strong twist. Push your palms together, engage your core. Come back to center, bring your hands down, step back, downward facing dog. Take your left leg, reach it up in the air, bend the knee open. Step your foot up between your hands, coming down on your knee. Stretch through your left leg. Let's roll forward on the foot. We're going to float the arms up, low lunge, and then bring your hands to your heart and twist to the left. So again, twisting through the torso, tucking the arm, whatever works for you. Push the palms together. This is not just kind of like a passive twist. Super strong. Engage your core. Remember to breathe. Come back to center. Bring your hands down. We're going to step back, downward facing dog. If you'd like, float forward to a high plank and lower yourself down. Remember, with the knees or not. Inhale into cobra. Lower back down. Curl your toes under. Press back. Wide knees child's pose. Okay. Let's take a couple breaths here. Again, as always, maybe roll the wrists. So I'm going to add a little bit more this time. So let's bring ourselves back up into downward facing dog. Walk your hands back to your feet. Once you get there, inhale and lengthen into a flat back. fold forward. Arms reach out to the sides, hands touch and come down to the heart. Okay, here we go. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, folding forward. Lengthening into a flat back. Bring your hands to the ground. Walk yourself up into downward facing dog. Looking back at your feet, we're going to lift up high on the tiptoes. Push your tailbone up towards the ceiling. Sink down through your heels any amount. Take your right leg, reach it up in the air, bend the knee open. Step your foot up between your hands, coming down on your knee. Stretch out through the right leg. Remember, you can always adjust your hands. Roll forward onto the foot, float the arms up. You're in a lunge. Now bring your hands to your heart, and we're going to take that beautiful twisted lunge. Now, a little bit more if you want. Curl your back toe under and pick up your back knee. This is entirely an option. Make this a good twist, holding here. Come back to center, bring your hands down, step back, downward facing dog. Take your left leg, reach it up in the air, bend the knee open. Step your foot up between your hands, come down on your knee, stretch through the leg. Nice big breath. Roll forward, float the arms up. Bring your hands to your heart, twist to the left. Maybe pick up the back knee. Super strong. Keep your core strong. Come back to center, bring your hands down, step back, downward facing dog. And then if you'd like, float forward to a high plank. Lower yourself down. Inhale into cobra. Exhale, lower back down. Curl your toes under, press back into wide knees child's pose. Okay, big breath. So let's bring ourselves back up into downward facing dog. We're gonna walk our hands back to our feet. Once you get there, hands to the shins, lengthening into a flat back, folding forward, arms out to the sides, and reaching all the way up, hands touch, and come down through the heart. Okay. So we're gonna add on a tiny bit more this time. Eventually we'll stop adding on. Let's stand up nice and tall. Again, maybe you're noticing, are you able to pull your body up taller and hold yourself up with a little more ease than you were at the very beginning? It's because you've been moving around, you're using all your muscles. Standing nice and tall, take your arms out, inhale, hands together, bowing forward. Lengthening into a flat back. Bring your hands to the ground, walk yourself up into downward facing dog. Lifting up nice and high through the tiptoes, pushing the tailbone up towards the ceiling, and then sinking down through your heels any amount. Take your right leg, reach it up in the air, bend the knee open. Step your foot up between your hands, coming down on your knee. We'll stretch out through the leg, folding over the leg, rolling forward, arms floating up. Bring your hands to your heart, twisting to the right. Pick up your back knee if you'd like. If you still want a little bit more, you're gonna lift yourself up from here and stretch your arms out. Don't worry about doing this. I'm just trying to give a little more options. Holding here. Hands back, everybody coming back down into downward facing dog. Bring your left leg up in the air, bend the knee open. Step your foot up between your hands, coming down on your knee. Stretch back through the left leg. Rolling forward, arms floating up, low lunge. Bring your hands to your heart, twist to the left. Maybe picking up your back knee. Maybe lifting up your torso now and stretching through the arms. This is a little trickier, right? But you're still trying to get that rotation. Palms are facing the same direction that you're looking, to the left. One more breath, back leg is strong. And hands down, step back, downward facing dog. Okay, float forward to a high plank. I'm gonna add something more here. We're gonna lower down. Remember, you can bring your knees. We're gonna lower down for a count of 5. 5, 4, 3. Remember, your knees can come down 2 and 1. Come up into cobra, tops of the feet to the mat. Lower back down, curl your toes under, take a nice rest, back into child's pose. Okay, we'll take a little extra long seconds here. Maybe instead of staying here for 10 seconds, we'll stay here for 20. How about that? Nice breath. Just let your body feel like it's recharging again. And of course, for those of you that want more activity and you want to keep your heart rate up, you can come up into downward dog, floating forward to a high plank, lowering down. You can do that vinyasa cycle. Again, coming through and maybe even adding in another one while I'm talking. So many options, right? This is such a great thing about yoga because we can curate it to how we need. All right, one more breath. So let's join back in downward facing dog when you are ready. Always just join in when you're ready. Walk your hands back to your feet. Hands to the shins, lengthen to a flat back, fold forward, arms out to the sides, all the way up, and bring your hands down through your heart. And guess what? We're going to go through that one more time. I'm not adding on anything more this time. Have a nice little sequence time frame here where we get our heart pumping, the blood flowing. This is what we want. Let's stand nice and tall. Bring your arms out. Inhale, folding forward as you exhale. Lengthening into a flat back. Bring your hands to the ground. Walk yourself up into downward facing dog. Let's come up high on the tiptoes. Push your tailbone up towards the ceiling, drawing the abdominal muscles in and sinking down through your heels any amount. That was hopefully your best lift yet. Take your right leg up in the air, bend the knee open. Step your foot up between your hands, coming down on your knee. Stretch back through your left leg. Maybe you're able to fold in a little more deeply because you've been doing this multiple times. Floating back onto the foot, coming up with the arms into lunge. Bring your hands to your heart, twisting to the right. Make it nice and strong and powerful. If you want, pick up your back knee. Keep your leg long and strong. If you want, lift yourself up. Palms are facing to the right. Holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bringing your hands back down to the ground so that we can step back into downward facing dog. I'm going to add in something extra here. Let's come up again on the tiptoes, pushing the tailbone up, keeping the belly muscles engaged. Sink down through your heels any amount. All right, left side. Left leg goes up in the air, bend the knee open. Step your foot up between your hands, come down on your knee. Stretch back through your leg, fold forward. Rolling onto the foot. Arms floating up. Bring your hands to your heart, twist to the left. Nice, strong twist. If you want, pick up your back leg, keep it nice and powerful. You're pushing through the heel. If you still want, lift yourself up, arms stretching out, palms facing to the left for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and bring your hands back down. Step back, downward facing dog. If you'd like, float forward to a high plank. We're going to do it for lowering down, but we're going to hold the high plank first for a count of 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And just to add to this, let's lower down for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tops of the feet to the mat. Inhale into cobra. Exhale, lower back down. Curl your toes under. Bring yourself back into the most beautiful child's pose. Nice, big, deep breaths. So for sure, maybe you want to do the wrist roll. I know the downward dogs and the really every time you put your hands on the ground and support your weight on your wrists, even in the lunges, I know that it really hurts the wrists at first, but as you build strength, and as long as you do it, cautiously, like you're careful, you're not hurting yourself, but the more you do it, the more your wrists are going to become stronger and you're not going to feel as exhausted through the wrists. But it will come, right? With practice, it will come. Let's take our right arm. We're going to thread it underneath the left. want you to get a nice stretch on your right shoulder. You can always take your left arm and drape it behind your back. If you're doing this though, really incorporate that twist. Pull your left arm up towards, your left shoulder, sorry, up towards the ceiling. All right, we're gonna bring the arms around. Let's switch to the other side. Left arm threads under the right. Get a nice stretch. You can, as an option, bring your right arm behind your back and then pull the right shoulder up more towards the ceiling, only if it makes sense, right? If it feels like too much on your neck, you just bring that, you don't have to have that top arm on your back. Another big breath. And release. And let's bring ourselves up. I'd like us to just bring ourselves up and around, actually, pardon me, to a seated position. Your legs are stretched out in front of you. Just like we did a little bit earlier, I want you to take a nice, easy forward fold. So your knees can be bent, you're rounding your back. You can keep your belly muscles engaged here as well, especially if you feel a little extra pulling in your back. It's okay to always wanting to be incorporating the core work. So you're doing what makes sense for you. Tuck your chin into your chest. All right, bring yourself back up. We're going to bend our right knee, bringing the foot inside the leg. Taking the arms up in the air. If you have a strap, you can always bring it around your foot, but if you don't have a strap like me, you're going to grab somewhere on your leg. Maybe it's your foot, maybe it's your shin, and I want you to pull your spine straighter so you're not in the rounded back. Nice straight spine, and hinge forward. So you're just hinging at your hips. You're feeling lots of stretch in the back of your left leg, lots of stuff in the right leg. Try not to clench your teeth. Try to breathe. We'll take one more breath and we'll come back up. Take your right leg, step it over. We're going to twist towards the right. So twist towards your bent knee. Stretching into your waist, into your back. So earlier at the beginning, we did that open belly twist with the knees pointing the same direction we were twisting. This time we have our leg pulling against the body, so there's compression, getting a nice little smush of our liver. I don't know if that's an official term, a smush. Sounds good for right now. Nice big breath. Relax your neck. Take one more breath, come back to center. Let your knee rest on your bottom leg knee. Keep your foot flexed. Fold forward just for a couple seconds. Again, lots of intensity in the back of the leg. It's really stretching behind the knee, and then we'll come back up. Okay, release your legs, give them a little shake. You're going to take your left leg and bend it and bring it inside the right leg. Again, arms can be up and reaching forward, grabbing whatever's available for you, but I want you to keep your back straighter. Try not to round. Keep your spine straighter. You're hinging at your hips like you have a hinge and fold forward. Nice big deep breaths. Keeping your foot flexed as well. We'll stay here a little tiny bit longer. And come all the way back up. Take your left leg, step it over, and now you're going to twist towards the left, towards the bent knee. Pulling your leg in, it's going to compress your left side of your body now. So now your spleen gets a little smush. Good for your digestive organs to feel this, your ascending and descending colon. Just getting nice rotation just helps to move things around. That's why we want to drink lots of water, because then water will help us to eliminate things. Just make sure you don't drink water that your dog already drank out of. Let's take one more breath. Keep your neck soft. And we'll come back to center. You're going to let your knee rest on your bottom leg. Keep your foot flexed. Fold forward. We'll take one more breath and come all the way back. Let's bring ourselves, actually stretch your legs out, pardon me. Bring yourself to lean back on your hands. Have your palms flat on the ground, fingers pointing towards your feet, and just pull your chest open. Maybe give your neck a little bit of a swivel. Just soft, just gentle and soft. And maybe you feel like you really want to let your head drop back. Just be very aware of your neck, right? Okay, we're going to lift ourselves back up, come onto your back, bring your beautiful legs into your body, hugging them in. So just like we did at the beginning, if it feels nice, roll around. If it doesn't feel good, don't do it. You can pull your legs wider apart, much wider apart this time than what we did at the beginning. And if you'd like, come into a happy baby. Let's stay here for 3 more breaths, whatever variation you are doing. And bring your feet back down to the ground. We're going to bring our feet to the outside edges of the mat. Knees are bent. You can stretch your arms away from you. We're going to drop the knees slowly and gently from side to side. Let's do this. From here, we'll go 6 more times. So just counting down from 6 and 5. We'll let you go your own pace, but just try not to rush them. Maybe just notice, how your breath is. Does it feel like you're naturally breathing a little more deeply? You don't have to think as much about it. Maybe you notice that you are holding less tension in your jaw from, the beginning when we rolled our jaw out. So I think I'm getting close to 6. You probably are keeping track. So when you're done your 6, let's bring our knees in once again, and then we'll first bringing them in, and then we'll extend the legs up in the air. So taking our nice cool down pose, elevating your legs. If you practice a different type of inversion, shoulder stand, go for it. If you have a block, maybe you want to, or a book, you can place it underneath your tailbone and just have your legs lifted. In fact, maybe I will just demonstrate that. So you just lift up, placing it on your tailbone, under your tailbone, as opposed to your low back, and extending the legs up. So if that feels good for you, go for it. We'll stay here for another 30 seconds, whatever you're doing. And of course, I'm always wanting to stretch out the feet. So that's why I do it subconsciously. I don't even realize I'm doing it, but so of course, if you are elevating your legs, just being careful that you don't feel uncomfortable pressure, uncomfortable pressure on your neck. So you gauge that, right? And then if you are in shoulder stand, you're not turning from side to side with your head. Okay. Probably getting close to the end of your 30 seconds, getting close to the countdown. So starting to bring your legs back, shoulder stand people, if you were in plow, come down when you're ready. Removing your prop if you had one. Let's bring our full body down to the ground, stretching out the legs. We're going to do one last posture. Bend your left knee in, right hand on the knee, bring the leg across the body. We'll take one more deep spinal twist. Nice to compare, poses that you do at the beginning and doing them at the end and just seeing how you've evolved, where your practice has taken you, where your hard work has taken you. Nice big deep breath. We'll come all the way back, releasing your leg. Bend your right knee in, hand on the knee, leg across the body, stretch your arm away from you. Nice big breath and come all the way back. We're going to stretch the legs out. You can always pause here and take a longer rest. I totally encourage you to do that, but for those that need to move on, it's not enough to just rest for 10 seconds, but we're going to do that. We're going to rest for 10 seconds because it's better than nothing. So just close your eyes. Just let your practice absorb into your body. Be very proud of yourself for starting off your day or taking time out of your day to practice yoga and do something good for your body, your mind, your spirit. It's a really good way to keep us all healthy. Bring your arms over your head. We are going to take a big giant stretch, inhaling and exhaling through your mouth. Let's do that one more time. You're just going to let go of anything that doesn't serve you. Big breath in, exhaling out, and you can take your time and bring yourself up to a seated position, just rolling gently. And we'll bring our hands to our heart. I'd like you to close your eyes. Take just one more moment. I want you to have a second of gratitude for anything in your world, whatever that is. So thank you so much for practicing yoga with me. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Namaste. Have a great day. Stay safe, stay healthy, try to smile, try to keep your good yoga vibes going through your body. And thank you for joining me. I have other classes, as you know. Just let me know if you want to join them.